Okay, so there's one other element that is not about Pesach, but it happens so fast that we don't have time to learn about it. Right? The period of time between Pesach and Shavuos, the Pesach is the first of the pilgrimage holidays. Shavuos is the second. Pesach is called Matan Torah, the time of our freedom, and Shavuos is called Matan Torah, the time of the Zman Matan Torah, the time of our receiving the Torah, giving of the Torah. What happens in between? There are exactly 7 weeks, 7 times 7, 49, and on the 50th is when Shavuos comes. During that time was a time of great joy in Israel, as we all prepared for the Torah. We left Egypt and received the Torah as a gift, siyata d'shmaya, as we described earlier. The second Torah, second giving of Torah on Har Sinai, which came later, which came on Yom Kippur, actually, right, was as a result of our efforts to correct ourselves. And so the period of the Omer, this period of 49 days, right, is a period that begins on the second night of Pesach, which is the first night of Chol Moed in Israel, and ends on Erev Shavuos. It begins in the Holy Land with the bringing of the Omer of barley, of parched barley, of burnt barley, in the Beis Hamikdash. Barley is a food of animals. It's a grain that you feed to animals in most cases. And ends with the bringing of, in fact, very puffy challah. It's one of the rare times it happens that we bring leavened food to the Beis Hamikdash. We bring 2 challahs to the Beis Hamikdash to celebrate Shavuos. And it may be a statement about where we go from our animal level up to this level of royalty. How do we achieve it, right? Actually, I should just say one more thing. Although it was a time of great joy, originally, it became a time of great sadness. And there are many laws concerning the period of the Omer, which are a form of mourning.
It's now
a form of sadness. It's a form of sadness. No. How it and different communities treat it differently, but it's a time in which we don't listen to music. It's a time in which weddings are not done, except
no one gets married during the 49 days.
Nobody gets married during. Well, some get married after La'ag ba'Omer, the 33rd day. Some get married on, I believe, on Rosh Chodesh. There are a number of different ways that different communities hold, and of course, as with Pesach, so it is with the Omer, you should consult your Olcha Rav to see how your community deals with each of these issues. But everybody counts the Omer, the Sefras HaOmer, the counting of the Omer.
When they originally left Mitzrayim and then went to get the Torah, that's the 50 days, that's the equivalent to the counting of the Omer?
It's really the time, as I understand it, the time between it was preparation for the Torah.
So if you minus 50 days, they would be at Mitzrayim, or they'd be at the water? Where would they be in relation to the 50 days? That's a good question.
I don't know the answer to that. Okay. But so what the counting, I want to show you a book that's very handy. There are a number of different books on it.
Yeah.
This book is by Rabbi Simon Jacobson, and it's called The Counting of the Omer, the 49 Days of Sefira, a Spiritual Guide. 49 Steps to the Personal Refinement According to the Jewish Tradition. Like everything else in Judaism, the Sefira is a tremendous opportunity we have no tradition that doesn't have some impact on us of the moment. Right? Whether it's Hanukkah or Yom Kippur or Purim, right? These are things that are intended to change our lives, not just to remember something from the past. And so how does it work? Right? This book is a guide to personal refinement. It is designed, and when he says this book, the Omer is itself, right? And this book is a way to help you manifest it. The book is a guide to personal refinement. It is designed to take the reader on a 49-day journey through human personality, refining and perfecting areas of the emotions as the journey progresses. Each day of the sphere has in it a specific area of growth, an exercise for positive change. We invite you to use the book as a workbook, reading it, following the exercises, creating exercises that are relevant for you, and recording in it positive changes that you've made in your life. Mm-hmm. So 49 is very important, right? We know that after 7 days is Shabbos, right? We know after 7 years is the year of Shemitah. We know after 7 Shemitah years becomes Yovel, the year of Jubilee, right? Each one of them has significance. So when we see 49 or 50, when we see 7 or 8, they always have a special meaning to us, right? So let's just continue here. Now more than ever, people of all walks of life are searching for meaning and purpose. Some look for answers in meditation, some look for it in self-help books, therapy, religion, yoga, 12-step programs, New Age philosophies. Many people, however, are unaware that the oldest and most time-tested answer was given to us over 3,300 years ago at Har Sinai. It is called
the Torah.
The Torah. The Torah means instruction. The Torah and its stories are, in essence, the story of our lives, a spiritual blueprint that illuminates the intricate layers and dimensions of our psyches and souls. Every event in the Torah reflects another aspect of our inner personality. Through its mitzvot, or its commandments, the Torah teaches us how to actualize ourselves according to God's intentions in creating us. By deciphering the Torah code, we disclose its personal message for us. In the Torah's every word, there is deep personal and spiritual meaning. The process of receiving the Torah at Sinai actually began 49 days prior to its being given with the exodus from Egypt. These 49 days are traditionally called Sefras HaOmer, which means the counting of the Omer. In Leviticus, Vayikra, the third book of the Torah, in chapter 23, verse 15, it states, "You shall count from the day that you brought the Omer as a wave offering." The Omer was a measure of barley, approximately 2 quarts, that the Jews brought as a mincha, or afternoon offering, on the 2nd day of Passover. This was followed by the counting of the Omer, where the Jews counted every day for 7 weeks, 49 days in total, leading up to the festival of Shavuos, the 50th day, which also celebrates the receiving of the Torah. Interestingly, when you launch a rocket, you count down 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Right? People, when they're coming to December 25th, often talk about 27 shopping days too, 15 shopping days too, right? We don't talk in terms of going up. With the Omer, we always talk about going up. Today is the first day of the Omer. Right? Today is the 8th day, which is 1 day, 1 week, and 1 day. Today is the 27th day, which is 3 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. Right? We're always counting up. Right? Because we're going up to Har Sinai, right? That's right. And so, after the 49-day period, we arrive at the 50th day, Matan Torah, having fully achieved our inner renewal by merit of having assessed and developed each of our 49 attributes. Right? And so he's going to talk about the different attributes. Let me see where they are. I'm skipping.
Emotional attributes.
Right. Okay, so if we turn to the pages, the following is a description of the 7 emotional attributes that in various combinations constitute the 49 qualities to be examined and developed during the period. The following offers only one of the many applications. 7 emotional attributes. Chesed, loving kindness and benevolence. Gevura, justice, discipline, restraint, and awe. Tiferes, beauty and harmony and compassion, netzach, endurance, fortitude and ambition, chod, humility, splendor, yesod, bonding, foundation, malchus, nobility, sovereignty and leadership. 49-day period of the sphere is counted in the days of the weeks, the 7 days of the week. Each of the 7 weeks constitute the 49 days. Each week is represented by a specific attribute, and each day within the week is represented by an aspect of that attribute. Since a fully functional emotion is multidimensional, it includes within itself a blend of all 7 attributes. So, through the 7 weeks, let's say the first week is chesed, loving kindness, right? So the first day, right? And by the way, this is not Simon Jacobson's point of view. This is a deep Kabbalistic concept, right? So the first day of the first week would be the chesed of chesed, right? This is really Avraham Avinu, the kindness of kindness.
Yeah, he was seriously
right?
like that. Eh?
But the second day, right, is the gevura of chesed, the justice, the discipline, the restraint of kindness. What does it mean? To be kindness is to say, here, take this. No, don't take this. Take this. No, take this. No, take this. No, take this. No, take this. Right? Take this. Keep taking. Please take. That's the chesed. Right? That's chesed of chesed of chesed. Right? And there is a time for that, and it needs to be refined. Let's see what it says about it. That chesed of chesed. Right. Week 1, love and kindness, chesed. Let's see what it says there. Chesed of chesed, day 1 of the HaOmer. Right? Examine love aspect of love, the expression of love and its level of intensity. Everyone has the capacity to love in their hearts. The question is if and how we actualize and express it. Right? So then he gives you a couple of questions. At the end he says, find a new way to express your love to a dear one, as the exercise that day. But we're still in love, right? And what happens with day 2 of week 1? It's called the gevura of chesed, the discipline of chesed. Because if I gave you all these books and said, read them, it might actually be oppressive. It might be too much, right? The rain is a blessing only because it falls in drops and doesn't flood the fields. Exercise of the day. Help others on their terms, not on yours. Apply yourself to their specific needs, even if it takes effort. Right? So maybe what I should have done, rather than throw all these books that you say, is, this is the one for you. This is the one you like, right? This would be the gevura of chesed, to choose what it is that fits you, not what I want to give, but what you want to receive. Right? Now let's look at something different in the book. We'll flip ahead to week 2.
Week 2?
Right?
Okay.
Right?
Week 2, day what?
Week 2, day 1.
Okay.
Right? Because we just read, what did we just read? Chesed. We read the gevura of chesed.
Yeah.
So you would think that
chesed of gura.
You'd think that chesed of gevura would be the same.
Yeah.
Right?
No.
Because what is it? It's the loving kindness of discipline.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here we had the discipline in loving kindness. Right? Now in week 2 we're refining a quality, right? Which is in gevura, right? Which is the loving kindness and discipline.
Yeah.
Right? And it says the exercise for that day is, before you criticize someone today, think twice. Is it out of concern or out of love? Right? So it's a little different, right? So when you do all 49 days, right, you will change yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Which is the goal of the HaOmer, to do it. Right? Now, at Mariv each day, after dark, you can't say it during the day. We say count at night.
You count at night.
Count at night, right? You will count the next day, right? And there's a process of doing it, and you'll.
Like you actually say something when.
Yeah, there's a counting of the HaOmer. If you look in your siddur, under the HaOmer, you'll see the whole process, right? It's more complicated than I want to get into now. We may talk about it in more detail during the time, but I wanted you and our audience to be aware that there's not going to be any time to prepare. for this, that right now
right away.
is that on the second night,
the second night
which is the Seder night,
yeah.
for us in Galus, in
but it's also an Omer
Israel,
night.
the second night of Pesach is also the beginning of the counting of the Omer. Which actually raises one very kind of cute thing, is that we know that we have 2 days of Sukkot, right? Sukkot comes in the 15th of the month, right? And we understand the reason why in Israel they don't have it and here we do have it is because they couldn't get the information about when Rosh Chodesh was to us accurately in time. So the rabbis of old said where the outriders and the signalers couldn't get the information, there, to avoid a doubt, they should keep 2 days. So it makes sense, Rosh Hashanah, they kept 2 days everywhere in Israel because it happens on the first day of the month. These other holidays happen in the middle, right? So there was time to get people there, right? Between the time that the month was recognized as the beginning of a month, you're already into Rosh Hashanah, right? It's the new day, it's Rosh Hashanah. So you couldn't get it anywhere. So everybody kept 2 days for Rosh Hashanah always, right? But Sukkot and Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot and Pesach and Shavuos was always kept as 2 days outside of Israel, or even today in some parts of Israel where the writers didn't get to. Some people in Eilat, which is not part of biblical Israel, keep 2 days.
Really? In Israel they keep 2 days?
Because the writers didn't get there.
Oh wow. But it's at the bottom, right? Eilat is at the bottom.
And it wasn't really part of biblical Israel. Right? But there's different traditions about this. But the question is this. I understand why this would happen with Sukkot on the 15th of Tishrei. Right? And I understand why it happens on Pesach. So we don't know what is the first day of Pesach. But Shavuos is not dependent on when Rosh Chodesh is. It's dependent on the Rosh Chodesh of Nisan, which is when Pesach began. Certainly, whenever it is you decide Passover it is, you already decided when Shavuos is.
Yeah, it's just 50 days.
It's the 50th day.
Yeah, it's 50th day.
It's a 50th day.
Well, the second day of Passover plus 50, right?
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many Rosh Chodeshes it is, how many days Rosh Chodesh.
Doesn't matter.
It's a long month, it's a short month.
Fixed.
No, it doesn't matter. It is the 50th day after Pesach.
Yeah.
So why keep 2 days?
Yeah.
We know which day it is, right? And we really hold that we keep 2 days, one, not to embarrass Shavuos, that why should Shavuos
get only 1 day and everyone gets 2
when everybody else gets 2, right? And not to confuse the process, that we should have consistency to the 3 legs, the shalosh regolim, the tripod. The camera's on a tripod, right? If the camera is standing on 2 legs, it would fall, right? So we have 3 legs as tripod. Shalosh regolim is the 3 legs, which are Sukkot, Pesach, and Shavuos, right? Those are the 3 legs of the holidays, the 3 pilgrimage holidays, right? And we hold that all of them we keep 2 days for, even though we really know the 1 day that is in fact Shavuos. So we're prepared, right? We know things to think about at the Seder itself. I want to emphasize a couple of things as we end. One is that we've done a lot of preparation, but not nearly as much as the ladies of our homes have done. And when we sit down to the Seder, and we are kings, we should understand that they are queens. For instance, they have the same requirements to hear the Seder, to have the wine, to hear the Magid, to eat the matzah. If your wife has to get up, it's better if she doesn't, but if she has to get up for some reason, or your child, to leave, we should hold off on the discussion of the Magid till they return. It's best if they don't. But this is as much for them. Right? And since this is a time of gratitude, of HaKosherTube, right? we have a KosherTube to Hashem. In some ways, it's much easier to have a KosherTube to God than to the people around us. So we should use this as an opportunity to appreciate how much is done all year long, and especially in this month, to make this day a day of freedom of the soul.
Mm-hmm.
And when that time comes, it's not bad to pay special attention to the efforts that have been made by children and by spouses as this. Having said that, it's very important not to spend too much time schmoozing, because by 1:20 you have to have the afikoman, and Uncle Harry is going to want to have it much more earlier than that. Right? So you have to make an effort. As soon as you get home, sit down, start the Seder. Keep the vort small. Right? You don't have to do a vort for everything. Right? Remember, you can have as much discussion as you want after the Seder is over. There's also time for discussion during the meal. Right? If Josiah has something he wants to say, it's very important that he should say it. Right? If he has a great deal to say, then he can say some of it now and some of it during the meal. The pacing of the Seder is your responsibility. The head of the table's responsibility. And he should have that in mind. He should think about it. He should go through his Agada, having that in mind, what he's going to say, where he's going to say it. Prepare himself. Your preparation is a big factor in whether the Seder is an inspiration or a requirement for people. Make it an inspiration. Make it an opportunity for them to reach out, to one another and to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and to know that we are united with families all over the world, some religious, some less religious, that are recognizing this moment of freedom and all the responsibility that comes with this freedom, of being given freedom by God at this moment. We have the opportunity during the HaOmer to refine ourselves and prepare ourselves to receive Torah. It's been a pleasure preparing for Pesach. Everybody should have a wonderful Seder. They should have a kosher Seder. They should have a joyous Seder. It should be one of fulfillment and one in which the soul is filled with the freedom that Hashem has given us all.
Amen.